Hi and welcome to Ageless Curiosity. In this video we review our recent 7-night Eastern Mediterranean cruise on board Enchanted Princess. We'll be sharing our thoughts on everything from the medallion, our cabin to the food and drink options, as well as the variety of entertainment and the unforgettable itinerary. So whether you're an experienced cruiser or new to Princess, we hope our review will give you valuable knowledge as to what to expect on an Enchanted Princess Eastern Mediterranean cruise. For those of you who are new to the channel, we are Alison and Ian from the UK, who have a passion for travel, particularly cruising and all it has to offer, and are continually looking for adventures and new places to visit. Our channel is a record of our adventures around the world, capturing the beauty and diversity of the places we visit and the experiences we have. Feel free to check out our other videos, and if you haven't already done so, please consider hitting the subscribe button to stay updated on our new content. This is our second time on Enchanted Princess. In 2022, we enjoyed a 7-night Scandinavian and comedy cruise, and as a result had no hesitations about spending another week on her. But before we cover our thoughts on the cruise, let's give you some quick facts about the ship itself. Enchanted Princess was built in 2020 but entered into service in 2021. She is one of Princess's Royal Class ships alongside Sky and Discovery. Average capacity is 3,660 passengers with a total of 19 decks. She is currently spending the rest of this summer in the Mediterranean before heading over to the Caribbean. On this cruise, there were just over 3,700 guests, with around half of the passengers from the United States. For this particular cruise, we chose a balcony cabin, D709, which is a BD grade cabin on deck 9 Dolphin, towards the aft. It was one of 10 cabins on this part of the deck with larger than average balconies, but is the same cost as a standard balcony cabin. As you can see, the furniture is more contemporary than their older ships, and the colour scheme was bright and modern. The bed can be made as either a double or twin, and those who have cruised with Princess will agree that the beds are really comfortable. There is plenty of room under the bed to store suitcases. The walk-in wardrobe area has plenty of hanging space in the wardrobe section. There is additional storage in this area, including a cupboard to the side containing a decent amount of shelving and a safe. Dressing gowns are available for all grades of cabins upon request. The bathroom, however, was a tad on the small size and, surprisingly for a newish ship, had a curtain, not a door, on the shower. The toiletries were from Lotus Spa and included shower gel and a combined conditioner and shampoo, so you may wish to bring your own conditioner. There were enough sockets in the room which were US and European type, so we used our travel adapter cube. We were delighted to see USB ports in the lamps on either side of the bed. The TV is a smart TV and was useful for checking our account, watching the muster video, checking daily activities, as well as showing a good choice of free films. The best feature of this cabin was the large balcony. However, you are overlooked from the cabins above, but the extra space was worth it. We really enjoyed a deluxe balcony breakfast on our entry into Messina, which was well worth the additional cost. If you want to learn more about this cabin, do have a look at our cabin video. When it comes to food and drink on the ship, there are many options to choose from. The buffet is called World Fresh Marketplace and is a large, well laid out area, allowing people to move freely. It is situated towards the aft on deck 16 and opens at 6 AM, which is an hour before the main dining rooms, and shuts at 10 PM. The selection of food was extensive, and there were themed nights such as Indian night, Tex-Mex and Italian. We regularly used it for breakfast and lunch, but were surprised that it closed at 10 PM. There were gluten-free options and a section for vegetarians and vegans. The labelling was minimal, but if you had any questions, the friendly staff were happy to assist. Tea and coffee are available all day, and there is a separate pantry section serving desserts, cakes and biscuits. The International Cafe in the atrium area on deck 5 was a particular favourite of ours. It is open 24 hours a day and serves a variety of hot drinks, including specialty coffees, as well as sandwiches, hot and cold savoury dishes, as well as cakes and pastries. There are also complimentary snacks from the Salty Dog Cafe and Alfredo's Slice on deck 16. Another favourite was Gigi's Pizzeria, which claims to serve the best pizza at sea. No complaints from us here. Since our cruise, it has been announced that Gigi's, or Alfredo's as known on Sky Princess, will only be complimentary to those with Princess packages. If you have a Princess Plus package, you can have 2 included meals in this restaurant during your cruise, but is unlimited if you have a Premier package. If you do not take out a package, it is still possible to eat in this venue with a 3-course meal costing $14.99. We are aware that this particular change has not been well received, and we'll cover more about the Princess Plus and Premier packages later. There are 3 main dining rooms, otherwise known as MDRs. Capri and Amalfi on deck 6, with Santorini on deck 5. They all serve the same food with 3 to 4 courses. You can either pre-book a reservation time or turn up and queue at the time you wish to dine. Princess Plus and Premier drinks are available from the menu in the main dining rooms. The food itself was very good, but we did note that the portion sizes had reduced from our last cruise. But if we were hungry, then we could simply go to the buffet or international cafe, though later in the cruise we did order additional starters as we had overheard other diners doing this. There are 5 specialty dining options on Enchanted, which will include a cover charge. Sabatini's is now situated in the atrium area on deck 7 and serves Italian food for an additional $35. We did not eat here on this cruise, but on our previous cruise on Enchanted, we were very impressed with the variety and quality of food. One of the recent changes is Catch by Rudy, which is found on deck 5 in the area previously used by Sabatini's. It is a specialty seafood restaurant. We felt that the restaurant had limited options for any of your group who did not eat fish or meat, which is something to consider. However, the variety of fish options were impressive. Some dishes included an additional surcharge above the set cost of $39 each, but these will be clearly marked on the menus. The quality of the food was excellent and we felt so full when we left. There is also Crown Grill, which is a refined steakhouse restaurant serving you, guessed it, cooked to order steaks as well as seafood. We did not eat in this venue as we simply ran out of time, but I'm sure we'll give this a try on a future cruise. These restaurants can be booked in advance of your cruise using the General Princess app and navigating to the Dine My Way section, although there is often capacity when on board, which you can simply book as normal. Chef's Table Lumiere looks like an incredible but costly experience. The venue is inside the sparkly curtains in a section of the MDR and is limited to up to 12 guests per night. The experience includes meeting the executive chef who has created a unique menu with wine pairings. This experience can only be booked when on board. There is a new restaurant which is by invitation only called 360. It is an immersive experience where all your senses are awakened to the sights, smells, tastes and touch associated with a meal. On our cruise, invitations were extended regardless of room or loyalty status, but sadly we were not included on this cruise. Maybe next time. Aside from the restaurants, there are numerous outside bars to be found, from the Seaview and Wakeview Bar on deck 16 and Retreat Pool Bar on deck 17. Inside you have Bellini's, Crooners and Good Spirits at Sea, which are all situated around the atrium. You will also find O'Malley's, a new Irish pub with food, drink and live music. It replaces the Salty Dog Grill, which is now a cafe on the outside deck. Our favourite bar was Take 5, which had a fabulous selection of cocktails, and you are in for a treat when the live jazz band performs twice a night. Now is a good time to mention the Princess Plus package, which is available either at the time of booking or when on board. It is a package which includes 15 drinks up to $15 each, hot and soft drinks, Wi-Fi for one device and gratuities. Princess have recently added new features for this package, such as premium desserts, fitness classes, unlimited drinks from the juice bar, but we had booked our package many months ago and our package did not include the additions. There is also Princess Premier, which includes 15 drinks up to $20 each, hot and soft drinks, 2 specialty restaurant meals, unlimited casual dining, photo package, reserved seating in the theatre, Wi-Fi in 4 devices, a medallion accessory and digital photos. Do look out for some promotions with these packages though, as we recently reserved a cruise with a half price plus package at £25, which is around $30 per day, which is incredible value. As previously mentioned, since our cruise, we are aware of some changes to the basic cruise fare, which excludes complimentary dining at GG's and free room service. For more details, do look out at the Princess website, or have a look at Cruise Mummy for a drinks calculator, as Princess also offer standalone drinks packages. There are several ways you can find out what daily activities are taking place. The Wake Show is a morning TV show hosted by the cruise director. Each day he introduced the ports, any themes and the main activities. He involved various members of crew and it was a fun way to start the day. You can also see what is taking place via the TV in your cabin, as well as on the Medallion app. There are also screens all over the ship showing activities via a timeline. For those who prefer more traditional methods, there is a paper daily platter delivered to your cabin each evening. The activities on board Princess are extensive and there's always something for everyone. During sea days in particular, there are a variety of things to do, ranging from enrichment talks, quizzes, bingo, wine tasting and croquet, to line dancing, art sales, galley tours and live music. There is plenty to keep you entertained, whatever your interests are. The gym is reasonably large, with a lot of equipment which seem to be well maintained. The spa offers a variety of treatments such as a massage, hair and nail services and acupuncture. The Enclave is a thermal spa which can be booked for either an individual session or accessed throughout the cruise. For families, there is a children's club called Camp Discovery. Princess does claim to be a family-friendly cruise line, but do be mindful there are no thrill rides or water slides in their current fleet that other cruise lines offer. The onboard shops offer cosmetics, jewellery, clothes, souvenirs, all at duty-free prices. These are situated around the atrium on decks 5, 6 and 7. For those wishing to relax, there are 4 outdoor pools and 8 hot tubs and lounges where you can get some sun and watch a film on deck on the screen known as Music Under the Stars. The Sanctuary is a paid-for private area at the front of deck 18. You can reserve lounge chairs or even a cabana for half or full days, with some food and drink included. This area can get booked up really quickly, so you need to check availability on embarkation day. Other outdoor venues include a sports court, jogging track and mini golf course. Do be mindful of stray balls if sitting on a lounger below the golf course, as I found out to my detriment. For the evening, the entertainment largely takes place in one of the 4 main venues. The Piazza is host to live music, interactive games and events such as the Captain's Champagne Waterfall and the dance competition. In the main Princess Theatre on decks 6 and 7, there will be 2 nightly performances at 8 p.m. and 10 p.m, with the guest performers as well as Princess's own theatre company staging their shows. The performances we saw, Spotlight Bar and Rock Opera, were excellent, and considering this is included in your fare, proved to be fantastic value for money. We didn't need to book ahead, but turned up around 20 minutes before the performance started to get our pick of seats. The Vista Lounge at the rear of Deck 7 is used for smaller music and comedy venues in the evening, and was used for the art auction and bingo during the day. This was also the venue for the premiere of Jim Henson's inspired silliness show, which we were fortunate to catch. A real trip down memory lane. The most popular venue is Princess Live, which is used for the multitude of quizzes throughout the day and evening. We feel that the entertainment staff had these events down to a fine art and were so much fun. You really needed to arrive early though to bag a seat. Princess is a relatively relaxed cruise line, but there were 2 formal nights, one on each of the sea days. Many guests did dress in more formal wear, which is expected in the main dining room. The first formal night included the captain's welcome and a more extensive meal in the main dining room. Princess offers a number of Mediterranean itineraries. On this cruise, we embarked from Athens and arrived a couple of days in advance, so we could enjoy all the fabulous sights in Athens. The Parthenon on the Acropolis is the highlight of this port, but we also enjoyed exploring the historic sites such as the original Olympic Stadium and the historic district of Plaka. For a greater insight of what there is to see and do in this port and all our other destinations, do have a look at our channel for separate videos. The next port was Santorini, which was a tender port. This meant the ship could not dock right up to the port, so we needed to transfer onto a much smaller vessel. This may be a consideration if you have any mobility difficulties. The disembarkation arrangements for tender ports are well organised. You collect a ticket from crew who are in the atrium near O'Malley's, and you wait in the atrium until your number is called. Up to 100 numbers were called at one time, so you don't normally wait for too long to get off the ship. Santorini is a port which requires either a boat or cable car to take you to the main road to reach other parts of the island. We took a private tour with Santorini Getaways, Travel and Tourism and booked it via Get Your Guide app. For £55, we had a 5-hour tour which included a visit to Ia with its stunning views and delightful passageways with shops. We then took a trip to get some photos of the famous Blue Dome Church, as well as a stroll around a traditional village. There is, however, one downside to this port, and that is the journey back to the ship. Santorini can be a busy port, and the queues for the cable car back down can take 1 to 2 hours, if not even more. We decided to walk along the zigzag path down to sea level, but this was very steep and slippery in parts, and was even more of a challenge when you needed to dodge the donkey poo which shared this path. Those poor donkeys in the heat. Kotor was a port we were most excited to visit, and we were not disappointed. Kotor is in Montenegro and is accessed after sailing through a winding entrance from the Adriatic to Kotor Bay. It is worth getting up early to experience sunrise as you enter the bay, but you can save this opportunity for the return trip back down to the Adriatic. Kotor was also a tender port. There is a medieval old town to wander around, and for the more active you may wish to climb the winding path, sometimes referred to as the Ladder of Kotor, to St John's Fortress. The climb is steep with some uneven paths, but the view at the top was well worth the effort. Back in the old town, do look out for the many cats that are a symbol of good luck and are found all over the town. Their origin is from their role to eradicate rats and mice from the ships. There are many excursions both on land and sea from this port, and we cannot wait to return one day. I was not surprised to learn that Kotor has just been voted the most beautiful place to visit by Time Out magazine. Let us know in the comments below if you have visited this port and whether you agree with this ranking. Messina was our least favourite port, but that was because we cancelled our excursion thinking the weather was going to be wet. There was not much to see in the town itself apart from the astronomical clock, which has a show at 12 noon every day. The cathedral next to the bell tower was also worth a visit. Do look out for cannoli, which is Sicily's best known dessert. It is a sweet pastry tube filled with ricotta cheese and pistachio. Next time we visit Messina, we were thinking of taking a tour along the coast to Teorema, but we would love to know your recommendations about this port. When doing our research about Naples, I found out that it is most known for the margherita pizza. I must admit I did indulge for a lunchtime snack, but the highlight of Naples for us was the Princess excursions to Mount Vesuvius and Pompeii. They were a short coach ride from the port and were a perfect length of time to visit these iconic places. We were overwhelmed with the excavation work that has taken place in recent years at Pompeii, which is still ongoing. Barcelona was our final destination and the port where we disembarked. This process was staggered so guests all left at different times. In the port we had arranged to leave our suitcases with bags and go, which meant no hauling luggage around. We then collected them at the airport later in the day. The service was very reasonable and something we'd recommend if it's an option for you. Our highlight of Barcelona was a tour of Gaudi's Sagrada Familia, which is still under construction nearly 150 years since it was commissioned in 1882. There was so much to see both inside and out of the basilica, and our ticket also included entrance to a museum. There are different ticket options. Some include a self-audio guide, but there are also guided tours. Whichever option you choose, do book ahead as it's not always possible to turn up and assume there is availability.
Right, so there you have it. So we're just going to do the usual, give our thoughts, final thoughts on the cruise itself, and then we'll give it a good old Age's Curiosity score out of 10. So final thoughts on the cruise, Ali?
Okay, well I'll start with the cabin. I thought it was a very light, modern cabin. The bed was really, really comfortable. I love the walk-in wardrobe. It's so easy for getting changed in. The medallion that's wearable is really easy to unlock the door. Lots of power sockets, including USB ports either side of the bed. And I think the best bit for us was the balcony. It was absolutely huge. We loved it, and we had a deluxe balcony breakfast there one morning. I think on the downside, the bathroom was a little bit small, and there was a curtain instead of a door, which is surprising as it's a newish cruise ship. Balcony, but sort of the bedrooms themselves slightly small in terms of no room for a sofa. But yeah, other than that, it was fantastic, and we'll definitely book that again.
Yeah, I don't think you can go wrong with Princess cabins by and large, and to have that extra large balcony was real bonus for us. Things to do on the ship. So you've got the sports court, you've got the gym, you've got for kids Camp Discovery, you've got quizzes, shows to go to. You know, there is so much on a Princess cruise that will keep you entertained, and it's almost like a military operation trying to keep entertained, you know, trying to get everything that you can. And the only gripe I've got is Princess Live is such a popular venue on the ship itself, and yet it's so small. And I'd like to think on the new ships that they'll probably make that area bigger. But yeah, entertainment, things to do, you'll never be bored. Even if you just want to sit around on a sun lounger, you know, that's fantastic. These ships are really good for that sort of stuff. Okay, food and drink, I'll kick this one off. My thoughts on the food and drink, the quality of the food is fantastic. The buffet is probably one of the best buffets out there as well. The portion sizes are small. We've seen so much moaning and griping about smaller portion sizes. Just eat more. I know that the portion sizes are smaller in the MDR, but you've always got the buffet to go. There's a backup, and you know, and other little areas around the ship. So I don't see it's too much of an issue. Maybe we're easily pleased on that score. What were your thoughts on the food?
Well, I don't eat meat, but there was plenty of options for me, either in the main dining room or in the buffet. And in terms of the speciality restaurant, Catch by Rudy was fantastic. Very limited options for me, not eating meat or fish, but what I had was really tasty, and we really enjoyed it. It was a lovely new venue.
Yeah. So I think the food is really good on Princess. Right, so I guess the final thing we need to cover are the ports of call and the itinerary itself. So your final thoughts on that?
Okay, so the itinerary with Mediterranean cruises, they are all start or finish in either Rome, Athens or Barcelona. So these are fantastic places for you to extend your cruise either at the beginning or end. So we started the cruise in Athens and arrived a few days early. We then didn't have to worry about missing the cruise ship because of delays, and I know there's a lot of problems with flights at the moment. So that was fantastic for us. On our cruise, there were a majority of the passengers were actually from the United States, and they were there for not just 1 week. They had the 2 or 3 week itinerary. They actually made the most of the whole of the itinerary, and also stopping in ports beginning and end as well. So that was fantastic to see. They really had a fantastic time with that big trip. Now, with the ports, 2 of them were tender ports, so you may need to consider this if you have any mobility difficulties. So that was in Kotor and in Santorini. The Princess excursions are quite expensive, and they do have they're big groups. So you may want to think of a private excursion, so it could be cheaper in price and be a smaller group. We did this in Santorini because we were there for quite a long time. But I would be aware in Santorini the queues to get down the cable car can be 2 to 3 hours long if there's lots of ships in port on that day. So do check that out. What we did, we didn't queue up that length of time. We actually walked down the zigzag path with the donkeys. And if you actually have a look at our port video on that day, you'll see how precarious that was. That was quite a
treacherous. Yeah, it was
definitely.
treacherous. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, with Kotor, I would recommend getting up early so you can watch the ship as it goes through the bay. That was absolutely stunning. Messina, there wasn't so much to do in the port, so I'd recommend doing an excursion. And with Naples, there's certainly so much to do there. There's a lot of culture there, a lot of history, lots of islands to go and visit.
Yeah, and what I would say in Naples is, yes, you can do both Vesuvius and Pompeii in the one day. So, and I know that that was something we were really excited about doing, wasn't it?
Definitely, absolutely. Now, with the Mediterranean, I would say in July and August it can get extremely hot. I mean, we were there in June and it was hot then. So do make sure that you have plenty of water, you wear a hat, sun protection. And I would say with most of the places we went to, we really needed good footwear because it was quite slippery, either just because of the steep steps or uneven ground or slippery stones we were walking on. So yeah, just be warned.
Yeah, some of these places we visited, such as Athens, you know, they've been around for 2,000 years or whatever, with the stone roads and pavements that have been worn away all that time. They can become polished, so you need to be very, very careful. Right, okay. So I think that's all that's left to do is for us to give this cruise a score. Now, for me, cabin was fantastic, entertainment was fantastic, food was good, itinerary was good. I'm going to give it a solid 9 out of 10. I thought the whole cruise was a really, really good cruise. It was more expensive than the other ones we've been on, but overall, I think it was really, really good.
Okay, well, actually, I can't disagree with you there. I actually had a fantastic time and would second that. It was a really good itinerary, really good ship, and I would encourage you to all give it a go.
Cool, so I think we're agreed. That's a 9 out of 10 cruise for us. Let us know in the comments if you've been on this cruise before or a similar one with Princess around the Mediterranean, your thoughts on your adventures. And if not, would you consider going on this cruise, having looked at maybe our vlogs and this cruise review? We'd highly recommend it, that's for sure. Okay, so that's it for this vlog series. Please do subscribe or consider subscribing if you haven't already. Just click on that little icon in the right hand corner. It takes you about 2-3 seconds and it helps us a great deal and doesn't cost you a thing either. We've got some more cruises coming up, so that'll be another reason to subscribe and keep notification bell clicked so that you get notified of any new videos that coming up. We've got one coming up very shortly, and then a few more in the new year, haven't we?
Absolutely, yes. Some new ships, some old ships, new ports, old ports. Yeah,
yeah, different places, more adventures for us, and more places to see. So, until then,
stay curious.